Hello children, welcome to Saratagar Higher Secondary School 8th Standard Social Science History Lesson 3 Rural Life and Society. Okay. In the pre-colonial period, Indian economy was predominantly an agrarian economy. Okay. Agriculture was then the primary occupation of the people, and even industries like textiles, sugar, oil and etc. were dependent on it. The British government in India did not adopt a pro-Indian agriculture and land revenue policy. British government introduced three major land revenue and tenurial systems in India, namely the permanent settlement, the Mahalwari system, and the Raidwari system. Okay, so now we are going to learn the topic is the land revenue policy under the British. Types of land revenue policy under British, like first one is permanent settlement, second one is Raitwari system, and third one is Mahalwari system. Permanent settlement is introduced by Lord Cornwallis. Okay, then second one is introduced by Thomas Munro. Then Mahalwari system was introduced by Lord William Bentinck. Okay, so first one is permanent settlement. Okay. When Robert Clive obtained the Divani of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa in 1765. There used to be an annual settlement. Okay, Warren Hastings changed it from annual to quinquennial. It means 5 yearly. Okay, and back to annual again. Then during the time of Cornwallis, at 10 years, decennial. Okay, settlement was introduced in 1793 and it was known permanent settlement. Okay, then they were permanent settlement were made in Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Varanasi division of UP. UP means Uttar Pradesh, and northern Karnataka, which roughly covered 90% of the total area of British India. It was known by different names like Zamindari, Jahirdari, Malguzari and Biswaydari. Okay. Do you see in the picture? He was Lord Cornwallis. Okay. Then salient features of the permanent settlement. The Zamindars were recognized as the owners of land as long as they paid their revenue to the East India Company regularly. The Zamindars act as the agent of the government for the collection of revenue from the cultivators. The amount of revenue that the Zamindars had to pay to the company was firmly fixed and would not be raised under any circumstances. They gave 10/11 of the revenue collected by them from the cultivator to the government. Then the Zamindars would grant patta, written agreements. Okay, patta means written agreements to the ryots. The ryots became tenants since they were considered the tillers of the soil. All judicial powers were taken away from the Zamindars. Okay, then merits of the permanent settlement. First one is, under this system, many of the wastelands and forests became cultivable lands. Then the Zamindars became the owner of the land. Then the Zamindars were made free from the responsibility of providing justice. They remained faithful to the British government. So this system secured a fixed and stable income for the British government. Okay, then demerits of the permanent settlement. The British government had no direct contact with the cultivators. Then the right of the cultivators were ignored and they were left at the mercy of the Zamindars. The peasants were almost treated as serfs. This system was made the Zamindars lethargic and luxurious. Many conflicts between the Zamindars and the peasants arose in rural Bengal. Okay.